Hello everybody and welcome back to Broken Brand, and today we're going to look at the new PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, I'm excited for this. Well, I was very excited for this for a completely different reason than what everyone else was. Absolutely no problem that this is probably going to be the most top of the line console on the market, period, hands down. It's going to look and run better than any console on the market. That's just a fact. With all its upgraded hardware, it's going to run fantastic. It's going to look great. All the gameplay should be just silky smooth. It's going to be fabulous. The reason I'm excited about this was I was really hoping that a lot of people would go out and sell their current PS5s and buy the new Pro. So I could get a discounted PS5. I don't mind buying a used console as long as it works. I'll take it. And that was my hope. And we could spend a lot of time breaking down the hardware, and we'll just kind of do a quick overview, but we're going to see the major point, and it's going to be a quick video of why I'm not so excited anymore, because I don't think there's going to be a huge flux of used PS5s hitting gaming stores for people like me that finally want to get a PS5 and just have one out there. Because if I'm getting a PS5, I'm not getting a digital one. I'm getting a disc. I want the physical media, because we all know how that's been happening lately with some of the stuff, some of the games, losing access to them. I want my physical copy. That's why I love my Switch. That, yes, I do own games that are digital only, and that's fine, but the majority of the games I own on my Switch, I have physical discs for. Physical cartridges, as you would say. Not discs, they're cartridges. So, let's scroll down, because really, the bottom of this article sums it up. CNET does a good job just kind of breaking it down, how it looks. It is bigger. You can see here the PS5 Pro is bigger. It's got, the one stripe for this, and then it's got the multiple stripes there, so it's the Pro version if you just by looking at it without having them side by side. And the GPU is specialized for 4K and can run 8K if need be, and that's great. No problems with it. But let's get down to the nitty gritty. Here we go. First, we've got a lot of games that are going to need updates immediately to run properly and most efficiently on the PS5 Pro. That's fine, okay? It needs updates to handle the new GPU and the AI threading, and fine. That's no biggie. Just note that some of the games you might be playing right now may need a big update when you switch to the Pro. So we've got the upgraded GPU, and here's one thing. Still a 2 terabyte SSD, an SSD. Now the only reason I would be okay with a 2 terabyte SSD is I can upgrade it. And that's coming from a computer tech that's been doing it, but I haven't really played around with upgrading consoles before or modding them. I have friends that have, so I'm just gonna kind of have to look at this. Can I crack this open and pop in a 10 terabyte? Because I've got a PC right now. Between my 3 drives, I've got 14.5 terabytes. I think, give or take, about 14.5 terabytes. I think it's supposed to be 15, but it's 14.5. And between my 3 drives. And I don't have a top-of-the-line PC. This should at least have been a 5 terabyte drive. At least. Especially since its default is digital. Wi-Fi 7, whatever. Don't care. It does have the Ethernet port, which, thank you. Because I'm a big fan of, if you can wire it, if you can hardwire it, do it. Wi-Fi can be interrupted easily by the most innocuous devices you didn't even expect. So I'm always a big fan of Everything's getting hardwired if I can do it. So, thank you for keeping the Ethernet port. But here's the problem. If you want the vertical stand, which they even show it standing vertically, is $30. And you can add a disk drive for $80. So all in all, if you want to stand vertically, which from my understanding of the original PS5, it's best to have it standing vertically for ventilation and things like for heating. Having it laid down on its horizontal axis is not good. It doesn't get the heat out as efficiently. So you do want it vertically mounted, stood up at least, and absolutely you want a disk drive. So to get it proper for a PS5 Pro, you're dropping $810 plus tax. Now, there's gamers out there that are going to pay this. Absolutely. But it's not going to be a lot. At this price point, it's going to be people that are serious gamers, people that stream gaming online for a living, to Kick, to Twitch, to YouTube, wherever, and people that have a lot of disposable income. Now, a lot of people that are just like, I love PlayStation, I'd want to get it, but it's like, yeah, it's hard to justify that price point to get the full complete setup of a PS5 Pro. And honestly, the SSD is lacking for me. I mean, for what they've done, a 2 terabyte drive is just, it would have cost an extra $20 to upgrade it to a 5 terabyte, and you can eat that cost and probably produce more sales, because that's what a lot of people are going to look at. Well, if I got a 2 terabyte drive, how many games can I fit on there? Some of these games are getting pretty big. Some of them are getting really big. And updates and DLC and things like that, it's going to take up and be like, oh, now I've got to delete this game to play this game. Thus the reason I love physical media. You can save that download, and that's why I have all my cartridges for my Nintendo Switch. And it's a weird thing I do. Not everyone does it. I have a friend that thinks I'm crazy for it, but I had huge problems with like the big 2 terabyte micro SD cards always failing and getting corrupted. So I buy 32 gig ones or less, and I have an individual SSD card, micro SD card for each cartridge. So if I pull out Mario Kart, I put in the cartridge and the SSD card, boom, nothing is saved to the console except console updates. And I have a micro SD card that is just my downloaded games, and it's a much larger one, of course, but this is kind of how I do things, and this is me looking at it. It's like, I was never going to purchase a Pro, but I don't think a lot of people are going to purchase it either, which means I probably am going to have a hard time finding a used PS5 at a good price. That was my hope. Was this? I knew it was going to be around $600-700, and I was hoping it'd flood the market. But to get the whole setup, you need $810. I'm just kind of bummed. I mean, I was hoping it'd be a little bit cheaper, so more people would buy it and be less of a high-end luxury item. But that's what this is. It's a high-end luxury console, and I have no problem with them making it. Don't get me wrong. They want to make it and they want to sell it, and if it does great, that's wonderful. I wanted it made because I want a cheap PS5. And at this point, I'm looking at cheap PS4s. Maybe next year, because this is, for me to get a PS5, you got to convince me and find me a price before Christmas. Because after Christmas, my focus is going to be on the Switch 2 coming out. Absolutely, I'm getting a Switch 2, 100%. So, PlayStation, you're not marketing this towards me. You're not marketing this towards a lot of gamers. It is a high-end luxury item, and great. More power to you. But you are facing a lot of problems right now with a lot of your games from like Ubisoft and stuff like that. So, maybe not so much. and it's going to come out in November before Christmas. So hopefully sales will get out there. Maybe I can find a cheap one after Christmas. But with this PS5 Pro, I mean, everything looks great on it. If I had the money, I'm not sure I'd buy it because it just seems over the top luxurious for a console. And for $810, I know it doesn't sound like a lot from a computing standpoint, but man, I could get a nice starter gaming computer for one of my kids that does more than just gaming for that price. I mean, it wouldn't be rocking 4K, but they could really do it. They could really have fun with it. And I mean, that's what you got to compete with. Yes, you're competing against other console manufacturers, but you're also competing against computers. And when a computer can do a multitude of things, your price point can't be to the same point as a starting gaming computer. And I put starting gaming computers right about the 900 mark. If I build it myself, I can drop it down to probably about 700. But off the shelf, you can get one pre-made, ready to go from a lot of different companies for about $900. No problem. But yeah, come on, guys. I was hoping for a little bit better SSD and a little bit better price, but hey, this is y'all's rodeo, so we'll see how it plays out. Personally, I'm just a little bummed that it's not a good price point, and I'm gonna have trouble finding a cheap used PS5. I knew it wasn't gonna be cheap, but I was hoping not to crack 500. I was hoping at least get around a 400 one. But hey, that's my problem, not y'all's, not Sony's. So there's a quick look. There's a quick rundown of what I think of the PS5 Pro, and amazingly, it's a great console. It's a luxury item. Beyond, this is a luxury console item. So this may not be for you, but hey, it's out there. If you got it, great. If you're buying one and you want to sell your old PS5 for about 400, yeah, you just shoot me a little email and we'll talk. All right. So until next time, my friends, as always, I love you all, and there's nothing you can do about it.